Welcome back to the channel. Here on part 3, I'm going to show you how I turn this stock looking bus into this ready to cut structure. Alright, so let me show you what I've done. So this is where I'm at. The last video I removed all the interior sheet metal and insulation and got it stripped down to the bare structure. I've gone ahead and completely prepped this side to cut. That doesn't include the front corners, front cap, or rear corner and rear cap. But I want to knock out the most of the labor here. There's most of the rivets are on the sides. So I've gone ahead and taken out all the rivets on the top because the new sheet is going to come up behind here, be drilled and riveted back in. And then I've removed all the rivets in the hat channel, here, all the way down, and taken off these sheets here that went on the outside. And that's because that's where our new sheet metal is going to go. So I've taken those off. I have also removed the upper rub rail. I just ground off all the rivets, knocked them out, and the rub rail is on the ground over there. So I went ahead and did this side so I could develop the methods that work the best. And then I will show you this side I have not touched as far as removing rivets or anything. So I'm going to take out one more window here, and I'm going to do it on two windows. On these two windows, I'm going to do all the prep and rivet removal, and that will apply to the rest of the windows. So give me a minute and I'll explain to you what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I remove all the rivets just on these two windows. Pop this window out. Okay, so all the rivets are up behind this foam strip. You can see one right there. So I got to get this foam strip out. And then the other thing I need to do to prep is there's rivets behind this metal, so I need to cut it with an angle grinder so I can get a drill in there. Also, I need to cut this a little higher so I can fold it inward underneath so that I can have access to the rivets that are behind here that go into the upper rub rail. Alright, so I was using a scraper, but it broke. So I might use it without the blade, see if that works. Alright, so I'm going to show you what this is. So this is, if it'll focus. So it's just like a foam strip with some sticky on the back. So I'm just scraping it up and peeling as I go, trying to get it off in one piece so I don't have a bunch of residue to clean up later. So and then that's above every window all the way around the bus. So now I'm going to make the cuts down there on that lower sheet metal. So I was using an angle grinder to cut that sheet metal, but I'm going to try these 10 snips. A lot safer and quieter and all that. So yeah, I'm gonna need the angle grinder to cut the bottom. These can't really get in there. But around the hat channel, I think they'll work okay. Well, it looks like their spot welds failed, so that makes it easy on me. The other side was a lot harder to get off. The spot welds penetrated really well on that side. All right, so what I did was cut this closer to the thickness of this and then beat the rest up under it. And now I have access to the rivets. And I'm just gonna leave this like that. It's just gonna be spray foamed over, so no big deal. So now I need to get this piece of metal out. All this did, I think, is was a backing for the sealant they put. So there's no structural importance. We don't need that piece. So there's just one rivet. I'll drill out and get this piece off because there's a rivet behind here I need to get to. And then I believe that's all that has to be done in prep to get to the rivets. Doesn't really matter what size drill bit you use, just something that will get that head off. And I'm just gonna pull this sealant out. Get that out of there. And actually I have another scraper I forgot about. Just a painter's scraper. I'll probably use this for the foam up here on the rest of it too. And just get that old nasty stuff out of there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, I tried drilling the rivets out and it just takes a little longer. And the rivets pop out pretty easy with the air hammer after they've been ground down flush. Sometimes they hang up when I use a drill bit. So first thing I'm going to do is take a grinder to everything that I can. There's some that the grinder won't fit into. Some spots like that rivet. I cannot get the grinder wheel in there, so I use a drill. And then also that one up there and that one. The one closest to the hat channel on each side. I can't get the grinding wheel in, so I use a drill for that one. But I'm going to take the grinder to everything that I can get out, and then I'll come back with the drill out the ones that I can't, and then I'll come back with the air hammer and pop everything out. I'm sorry this is a really boring video. It's kind of just technical about how I'm doing this in case somebody's needing help on their bus. So yeah, it's just a frame of a window. Pretty boring video, sorry. I gotta change the wheel out now. Alright, so on the rivets I'm using an actual grinding wheel, not a cutoff wheel. I tried to cut off wheel. It seemed to gouge the metal underneath the rivet a little more than a grinder, and it works pretty much just as fast. So I'm using a 1/4 inch thick grinding wheel. right, so these are all the rivets I can get to the grinder. So that went pretty quick. Got all the rivets out of the top on both windows. And then all the rub rail rivets. Those two and those two. And those two. And then there's some screws they unscrew from the outside on the ends of the rub rails. So I'll get those later. And then that one has got to be drilled. And then these two have to be drilled. And then there's two more in here. And there's actually one in the center behind the hat channel. I'll show you how I get those out. Those are a little special. I'll show them to you. So these have the center pin that needs to be knocked out, similar to the ceiling rivets. So these holes on my bus, these are 3/16 rivets. Most of them, except for these right here, these are 1/4 inch rivets. So I'm going to use, I don't want to enlarge the hole too much when drilling these out, because I'm going to put 3/16 rivets back, I believe. So I don't want to enlarge them too much to where the new rivets won't hold well. So I'm going to use probably a 3/16 drill bit right in the center, and just try to get the head drilled off. That way I can knock it out with the air hammer instead of drilling all the way through the rivets. Yeah, so get a drill bit. Bit. Now I could use a center punch. Let me show you what a center punch is. So if you want to be really precise, you can use a center punch. This is an automatic center punch. So what it does is I just push it and it'll pop and make a little dent in the center of whatever center. Oh, there's my vape. Anyway, it'll make a dent in the center of whatever you want to drill, so the drill bit will stay centered instead of walking around and drilling out of center. So just push it, find the center, push it, and that's it. It'll pop, and that should keep the drill bit from moving around too much. What I've found for drilling out rivets is very, very slow speed with a lot of pressure. I'm going to use a bigger bit because the head is still staying on there, so I'm not going to drill too far, just enough to get drill the head off of the rivet, not into the sheet metal that's behind it. So that's what it looks like kind of, so you can see the outline of where the rivet actually is. I went a little bit into the metal, but not too far. Now I can just air hammer that out, which I'll show you. So I'm pretty much just doing that on those as well. I'll show you, these are a little different, so I'll show you those. So I'm going to go ahead and drill that one and that one out. Alright, so see, it's just enough to get so there's no more raised head of the rivet, and then that can punch out without having to drill it all the way out. So that's what I'm looking for, flush with the sheet metal. Alright, so now I'm ready for some air hammer action. So I'm starting with the bit that I showed in the previous video that I modified. So it has that pointy tip that will knock those rivets out. Make sure there's no vehicles or anything outside the windows. Those rivets come flying out. Oh, and safety. Face shield. All right, so if you do this right and you get enough of the head off of those rivets. They shouldn't, with an air hammer, it shouldn't be too hard to pop them out. I tried popping them out by hand with a punch, but it seemed to bend this metal a lot. But if you do it like this, it doesn't really distort the metal too much. I may come back with a hammer and like a flat piece of metal to get it nice and flat and straight if there's any issues. So those are out. The ones I drilled, they came right out. All the ones in the hat channel, they came out. Now, when you grind them flat like this, sometimes it's hard to see where the rivet is. Like these, not so much because of their design. You can kind of see the dimple. Some of them you can't, but see, you'll be able to see like an outline. It's really hard to see on camera, but there's a slight outline. Now, if you can't see it, you might take a hammer and a punch and just lightly tap where you think it might be, and that line should appear. So I could kind of see it, but if you just tap around, not too hard to keep, bending the metal, but now you can see kind of an outline there. Sorry about my dirty fingernails. An outline there. I don't have any clean one to point with. Let me use something else. There we go. So you see that circle. If you go at it with an air hammer and you don't have the spot, you can start messing the metal up around it, which I'm trying to avoid. So, all right, now I'm going to show you how I get the hat channel, the upper hat channel rivets out. So just like the ceiling, bam, knock these 3 pins out. Let me put this phone down so I can do it. All right, so do not use an air hammer if you care about what this metal looks like, or that's going to happen. Do it by hand. I use the air hammer bit. And I did this on the other side, but I forgot. So I gouged this metal up really bad. Now I'm going to have to fix that. So I just use the bit and hammer it. Use a hammer on the end of it. And that way it doesn't just absolutely destroy the metal on the outside. That, like I said in earlier videos, the air hammer I'm using is probably way overkill, and I would definitely have gone with a little bit lighter duty of one, because this is damaging more than it's helping on some spots. So all right, now that the center pins are out, they're still kind of stuck in there. I can actually pull this one out by hand. There's some like sealant on them so they don't fly out. So I want to get these out. That one came out. And then I'm going to take just a big drill bit that's bigger than the head, and I'm going to drill it down flush to the hat channel. So So you can see here that I've drilled it down flush with the hat channel. And now I'm going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit to drill out the center of this. There's no real, unless you have the right size punch, which I don't, to bite the outside and punch it out. I'm just going to drill it all the way through with a 1/4 inch drill bit. All right, now I believe, so this one's still, there's still a little bit in there, but I just pulled it out by hand. So, see, I just drilled the core out after I punched the pin, and usually that 1/4 inch will eat up, if it's centered, it will eat up, I'm sorry, this won't focus. It'll eat up all of that, and then the head will just fall out. So yeah, that's it, except for this. Well, I'll show you how I get this out. So if you have the rub rail off, the rub rail down here, if you have, let me reposition this camera. If you have the rub rail off, these hat channel panels will come right out pretty much, but I can still get them out. I just peel it back, and then it's pretty thin. It just ends up easily. It won't damage the hat channel. So just pry it out, and then there we go. And this is scrap metal. So that's it. Now I just got to go along down the whole side, doing that on every rivet. And there's one rivet though that I haven't showed you how I get out. So let me show you that. So I'm going to shear it just like the ceiling rivets. And it is this this rivet right here. I'll show you. That one. It's right in the center of the hat channel. So there's no access to it from the inside. So I'm just going to shear it, be as careful as I can with the metal around it. There it is. Now there's a core in there, you can see. I'll have to drill that out or something because the new sheet is going to go up under there. So all of that has to be free between this and the hat channel. And I may even have to bend this out a little bit. So I don't know if I gave you a good explanation, but you'll see how that sheet metal goes in, and I'll show you how I bend it out and make room for that sheet to go in. But for now, that's it. I'm going to continue to go down the sides now. That's just, I'm just showing the sides here. We still have the whole back cap, which we'll go to that first. So the whole back cap, you know, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this yet. You know, there's rivets in here and all that, but I know for sure all of these rivets, all the way around behind these wires. Let me show you. So all those down in there, all the way around, and then I'll even show you on the outside. So all of those, all the way around, need to come out. So, you know, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. I might put that in the next video. I might include it in this one. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm going to get to work and get the rest of this done. Try to finish this today and get the windows back in and wrap it up for the day. All right. Thank you.